So Missy L said, I would like to know 3 of the top best practices you have if wanting to establish your own signing agent. So we'll let Kimberly
Oh, yes,
answer that because
yes,
she's done
yes.
lots of research. Kim has done lots of research on that.
Yes, I actually have a full video on that, Missy. So check it out. What they don't tell you about starting a signing service. So if you really want to start a signing service, so the first thing is you want to be a great notary yourself. How can you tell somebody else what to do and you don't know what to do? So you want to be a great notary, not just get assignments and pass them out. You also want to be a team player because a lot of times notaries may not complete the assignment. So you need to know how to manage people. You might have to go out there and run and do it yourself if it's local as you're building your business. And you want to just have a good rapport with your notaries because they are the key and the backbone to your business. And, just have a good relationship with them. And then lastly, it's plenty of tips I can give you, but I'll give you one more. Have a good team of notaries around you. When you're doing your screening questions, ask them, how do they feel about customer service? Because they represent you. So if you hire people and their business is not that great, are they going to really care about your business? No. So you want to make sure you have a good team around you and you get like-minded notaries. So if you're a great notary, you want people around you that think like you. Like I know Angela and Alexis, if we did a signing company, we teach together right now. I know anything that I do, they would do the same thing. Anything they do, I do it the same way. With a little spin, but we know we work well together. We have the same ethics. Okay. So I hope that works out for you, Missy. Let me know.
That's amazing.
Yeah, thank you. So Val Ross said, I want to do fingerprinting, went to state attorneys and secretary of state. No one had any information for me. Can I just do it or do I still need to find out what the rules are for my state? So Val, that's a very good question. The one thing is that fingerprinting is not a notarial act. And so you can do fingerprinting, just find out what the rules or laws in your state are, but it has nothing to do with notary. You don't have to stamp them. Just make sure that you know how to do it before you offer the services. And so there's let Kim tell you more about that because she's does a lot of fingerprinting.
Yes, I do, Val. So I highly recommend adding fingerprinting to your list of services. And again, it's not a notarial act, so it's not even governed by your state on what you can charge. The ink fingerprinting is allowed in all 50 states. And you just need to know what you're doing. Like Angela said, they're very specific requirements in even filling out the card. I actually just created a very short course on fingerprinting. And it's like you and I sitting in a room. I actually show you how to roll and do everything. So check it out at notaryeducatorsllc.com. And it's called Fingerprinting Like a Pro. It's not that complicated. And you can add that to your list of businesses, okay? Your list of services. Yep. So yes, you can definitely do it. And that's all 50 states. For the ink, there is nothing special. Yep. It's the ink, the card, and you need to know what you're doing.
Definitely need to know what you're doing.
That's it.
Thank you. Miss Asman and Amanda Reese, they both basically want to know about pricing. So when it comes to pricing, there are many variables and factors that you want to consider. The number one thing we always say is just you have a price that you have that you would, the lowest price that you would leave your house for, no matter what it is. You have a set price that you would have to leave your house for. Second, it depends on the demographics. It depends on the area you live in. Like we live in the Atlanta area. I know I can't charge what they charge in the city because I live in the suburb. So there are so many different variables on pricing that you really can't say what price you should charge for what. It depends on your area, where you live, and what type of people are around you, the demographics. Anything you guys want to add?
Yeah, we hate to be vague on pricing, but I will give you a couple of numbers though, just for example. So in my area, I tend to be able to start anywhere from $50 up. But in Atlanta, I know for sure they charge $100 and up. So it just depends on where you live at. In the city, you normally can get a lot more, or rural areas because they don't have a lot of notaries. So if you're in the country, it really just depends on your area. And the market will dictate what you can charge, because I may think my services are worth 100 or 50, but if that's not what the market, everybody around me is charging, it's not going to fly. But we do go over pricing in our course if you needed additional information. And check out my videos on pricing also. And always start with your state, what they say. But after you check your state, then watch my videos, and it gives you some things to think about. How many people? Where am I going? Is it a hospital? Is it a nursing home? Is it going to take me 2 hours?
Mm-hmm.
You know, because you don't want to go into the hole doing your business. You want to make money. And if it's taking you 2 hours, you don't want to charge $10. That's for sure.
Definitely.
And there are different types of power of attorneys. You know, I went to do one just a few days ago. It was a one-page professional power of attorney. Sometimes power of attorneys can be a couple of pages. Sometimes they can be 10 pages. Sometimes they can have 1 or 2 signers. Sometimes it's 3 or 4 or 5 signers. So there are a lot of variables. It is with that.
And I had a situation where I'm about 35 minutes outside of Atlanta. And I had a situation where I had a power of attorney in the middle of Atlanta. It was like 5 o'clock. On top of that, I had to go to the hospital. I had to go into the hospital, literally into the hospital on the floor where this patient was. So I factor all that in, how long I'm going to be away from my area where I do my work, you know, and it was really going to, honestly, total, it was probably going to be like a couple hours, probably a few hours, because Atlanta traffic is really, really bad around that time. So, of course, I had to factor all of that into the price. And they understood that, because when it's urgent, I mean, you understand. So definitely it depends on the factors involved in, you know, the whole situation, the whole assignment.
And that's a good point, Alexis. Are they in the hospital? Are you going to their house? Do they live 5 minutes away from you? Do they live 20 minutes away from you? So that's a lot of factors in that. And we do teach that in our class. So Just Me Design says, I live in Indiana, border of Illinois. Most of my day-to-day operations is in Illinois. Where should I get registered? So that's a good question. So one thing that I would consider in answering that question is when you look at the two, actually, you can actually be Illinois. You can actually be registered in bordering states. You have to check your state handbook, check the state laws. But I would look at where can I get the most business? Where would I be more successful at doing business? And also, I'm pretty sure you also have to make sure that you have a place in either one of those cities. What did she say? Indiana states where you can make sure that you have an address. You have to have an address connected to your business. Anything you want to say, Alexis or Kim?
Yeah, I'll add to that. So if you can be dual commission, that's what it's called, when you can have 2 like bordering states. And like Angela said, sometimes they require you to either have an address or a business or something in either state, depending on how much time you spend there. If you can be dual commission, 2 is always better than 1. If you have to choose, though, you're gonna pick, like Angela said, where do you spend most of your time? Which state will even allow you to do that? And if you are dual commission, you would not be able to take your Indiana stamp and stamp in Illinois, or your Illinois stamp and stamp in Indiana. It's either one or the other. Okay.
Yeah.
The stamp doesn't cross just because you can.
Right.